Hello, my name is Ethan Thomas, and today I'm going to be talking about how to mend a broken heart. Whoa, and there's a second part of the video. That's going to be about why you should keep on going, or why I should keep on going. Why you should keep on going. First, we'll talk about how to mend a broken heart. So I think before I talk about that, I want to talk about heartbreak in general and just how formative and big heartbreak is. And I feel like we just kind of, since it's something everyone goes through, I feel like a lot of times when people are going through heartbreaks, we don't really sit with the weight of that and understand how horrible that is, how horrible it feels, and how hurtful it is, So I feel like a lot of times, because of, I don't know, just societal standards and whatever, and like standards from the people around you, stuff like that, we put a time limit on our healing when we get out of relationships. And I feel like a lot of dudes, right? The moment they get out of a relationship, first thing they do is just start going to the gym really heavy or start like something like that. And I feel like what we're missing there is the period where we're supposed to be depressed. I think that after going through something like that, because you're mourning a loss, you're mourning a death, and it's the death of your relationship with that person, which really, when you think about it, that's like its whole that's like its whole other person. That's like a whole other person, a whole other entity, the relationship. Like the bond that you have between somebody else, that energy doesn't exist outside of you and that person. So mourn it like you're mourning someone who died, because that's how it is. It's that heavy, it's that important, and we need that time to just sit in our feelings and rest. Sit in our feelings and rest and really cope with everything. And it doesn't even, the process doesn't stop at that. Once you start working things back into your schedule, or picking yourself back up, feeling normal, you're still coping. You're not over it. And I feel like people, they get attached to the idea of being over it, so they try their best to accelerate their growth or accelerate their healing, when really what they're doing is not accelerating it. They're making it slower. And they're just dragging it on by not just sitting with the feeling. Because I don't know, whether that's sleeping with other people after a relationship, partying, being with your friends all the time, all those things are great and they make us feel good, but we still have to sit with the feelings we have. And if your heart really is broken, if you're really angry, if you're really sad, if you feel like you feel bad all the time because somebody left you, feel bad, feel sad, feel mad, feel those things. Don't strip away your right to feel. Your right to be sad, your right to be angry, because those things are just as much at those traits, those feelings are you, just as much as happiness is, or just as much as, when you're excited, that's you. When you're passionate, that's you. So is the sadness, so is the hurt, so is the anger. So how to mend a broken heart? That's a big topic, I feel. And I don't think I can fully do that justice, but I think I can shed a lot of light on that. How to mend a broken heart. So I personally have been through huge heartbreak. Girl I loved for a very, very long time. I had known her since I was 14. I was very much trauma bonded to her. My worth in my head was dependent on whether or not she loved me or if she was going to stay, right? That's not a very healthy mindset to be in, or a stable one, or one that's going to last you long. So after something like that happens, after you've put your worth into somebody being there, what do you do when they leave? What do you do? That's hard, That's hard. What I did, right, which obviously this isn't going to be for everybody, was I smoked a lot of weed. And I journaled days for days and days. And I just said everything I need to say, if that makes sense. But, even after months of doing that, I started smoking less. I was doing other things, working other things into my schedule. I was still heartbroken. And I still wasn't me. Because, I was still holding on to the idea of being with this girl eventually, even though, she had hurt me a lot. But the only reason I was holding on to that idea so tightly was because I felt like I would die if I didn't have her. So what does that mean? Why did I feel like I was going to die? Well, I feel like as a society, as a race, as a people, we are not very familiar with ego death, and we need to be. So when big things like this happen, breakups, we lose people in our family, we don't know how to deal with it because it's an ego death. Excuse me. And we're not very familiar with ego death. So, the way I see it is when me and this girl broke up, a part of me was dying. And I didn't want to just sit there and let it die. But you have to. You have to let the old... It's like a farm, You plant your seeds, you let them grow. Sometimes the harvest will be good, sometimes it won't. Either way, you got to get the old out of the way when it comes winter and plant more stuff later, Yeah. You got to make room for everything you're going to be. You're not the same person you were when you were 14. You're not the same person you were when you were 8. Or you're not the same person you were a day ago. And we're always evolving, we're always growing, so we always need to be purging and just letting go, releasing the old versions of us, the beliefs that no longer serve us. All of that. But how that goes into like mending a broken heart, or how I was relating that to, was that the reason it's so hard to mend a broken heart a lot of times is because when we lose things and then our heart breaks, the reason it breaks so hard is because we were putting all of our worth into this thing. Whether it's a job, it's a person, it's family, our worth was determined by the reciprocation from this other energy. So when it leaves, you're like, whoa, I'm not worth anything. What am I to live for? I don't have friends to make laugh. I don't have a girlfriend to hang out with. What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? So I feel like that's why breakups are very make or break for individuals when they go through it. Like, that will either make you or it will break you. It will make you into a better person, into someone who knows themselves more, or it will break you to the point where, I don't know, you don't know who you are anymore. You don't know who you are. You're just a negative, bitter person. And, it's tough. It's tough, but everyone goes through it. And it's always a choice. It's always a choice between healing or stagnation, growth, or, digression, I guess. But yeah, how to mend a broken heart. You gotta love yourself, but that's pretty hard too, especially when you don't know yourself, because the only thing you knew was this other person. So really, what it comes down to is being willing to sit with yourself, sit with all the uncomfortable emotions, and sit with who you are and what you want. I feel like a lot of times we give ourselves up for relationships, or give ourselves up for people that wouldn't do the same for us. Passion is really important. And I feel like a lot of times we allow our passion to fizzle out in relationships because we think that the passion in the relationship is what's going to save us, but it's not. The only thing that's going to save you is yourself, is your passion for yourself, your passion for what you do, your passion for what you love. If you're not a passionate person, you're not going to love the people around you to the fullest extent. So I'm with this girl, right? And I put all my passions to the side, which my passion is art. I love art more than anything. I love writing. I love music, every medium. I want to do it all. But I put those things to the side to work a job I hated so that I could go live with this girl and support the two of us. And I was just kind of entropying into nothing, if that makes sense. I had no light, no fire. Nothing was making me. All I was doing was giving to something that wasn't giving back to me, because I thought that's what I was. what I am is this relationship. That's not true, you know? And what I am is so much more than that. And that goes for everybody. You're not just your person. You're not just your relationship. You're not just your job, you know? What makes you you, it's just you, you know? And what makes you worth so much isn't what you do, isn't what you accomplish. You were worth the whole world the moment you were born, you know? You're worth everything. And I feel like we don't know that. So we attach ourselves to relationships, to exes that won't ever hear us, or to family members that won't ever see us. We attach our worth to their opinions. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. So I think how to mend a broken heart is that you love yourself. You find what makes you you. What makes your light different than everybody else's. Because everyone is different. That's just how it is. Everyone's different. But I think that kind of goes into why should I keep going? Because, you know, personally, I don't have a hard time conveying this because it's me. You know, it's a part of my story, my journey. I should be proud of everything I am. But, you know, when I went through this heartbreak, I was very, very suicidal. I didn't really think I could go on. I didn't think that things were going to work out for me in any way. So why should I? Why should I have kept going? And I don't think I could have answered that then. I don't think I really knew why. And to be honest, I think that my answer to that question now is going to be different in 10 years. You know, my answer will be different. But why should we keep going? And stuff like that, or in situations like that. And the reason I think is because you don't even know yourself fully. You don't even know who you were without that person. So isn't that such an exciting thing? I know it hurts, you know, more than anything, having to leave things behind that meant so much to you, but it's exciting too. You get to travel or just go new lengths for yourself to find out who you are, what you like, what makes you tick. Because, I mean, if you don't know what drives you, there probably isn't anything driving you. You're probably just complacent. Just going through the motions every single day, doing the same thing, doing what you think you need to do to be a person. But everybody is different. What I need to do to be me is not what you need to do to be you. But we got to find that out first. And I think it's really important to go through heartbreaks and traumas and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I wouldn't be the person I am without the heartbreak I went through. You know, this girl taught me so much. She taught me how to respect myself, how to put myself first, how to pour myself into my art without draining myself. She taught me an equal energy exchange between myself and myself. So I'm not giving too much to other people or giving too much to specific things, that I'm divvying up my energy between all these different things that flow back into me, whether that's my relationships. I don't let people walk on me in my relationships. And sure, like, that attributed to me losing some friends, but that's because they couldn't look at themselves. They couldn't look at themselves and sit with, I don't know, some things that bothered them. And that's okay. That's okay. I feel like a lot of times when we start to respect ourselves, when we start to love ourselves, we're going to lose people in our lives. We're going to lose the people that don't want to respect us because they don't respect themselves. You know, that don't want to love us the way we need to be loved because they can't love themselves. They can't love themselves the way they need to be loved. And that's okay. Nothing is permanent and everything is temporary. Things are going to come into your life and you have no say on when it leaves. And that's okay. That's why we got to be present. Be present at every moment so that you can appreciate it to the fullest extent, because you don't know if tomorrow is the last day you're going to see that person. You don't know if tomorrow's going to be the last day you're alive, you know? So why should we keep going? Curiosity, in my opinion. Curiosity on what's to come. You know, if you're young and you're thinking about taking your life, that's okay. You know, I've been there. And you got to let those parts of you vent. But remember, we're so young. There's so much of the world to see. There's so much of life to see. There's so much of humanity to see. And if we've only seen the ugly parts, imagine the beauty that's out there. You probably can't. That's why you gotta keep going to see the beauty that is out there. See the beauty that lives within yourself, that lives within the people around you, that lives within art, within literature, within the trees, within nature, everything. I feel like I found a real passion for life after this huge breakup I went through. And I think that's important. I think that's important. How to mend a broken heart, and why should I keep going? Just love yourself.